Who was the person that insisted Luka Doncic needed to go?
Stephen A., it was Nico Harrison. It was Nico Harrison's decision. It was Nico Harrison's pitch. It was Nico Harrison's idea to trade Luka Doncic. But, of course, any move that gets made, Stephen A., you know, if the general manager at any level is making a trade, it is with the blessing and the sign-off of ownership as well.
Imagine you're Nico Harrison on February 1st, 2025. You're sitting in your office knowing you just traded away a 25-year-old generational superstar who dragged your team to the NBA Finals. And all you got back is a 31-year-old big man with an injury history and a lot of question marks. And 9 months later, you're out of a job. The Dallas Mavericks didn't just make a bad trade, they turned their whole franchise into a cautionary tale in real time. Fans were losing their minds, serious threats online, protests outside the arena, people literally holding a fake funeral for the franchise, and Fire Nico chants echoing through every single home game for 9 straight months.
For AD probably was the worst NBA trade ever in NBA history.
Fair assessment. God bless Nico Harrison.
I just
like AD's hurt, Kyrie's out. I'm just saying, you're looking at this squad right now.
You can't be.
Does making the playoffs do anything for them? Does it help repair their image with the fans? I don't think so. But now
it takes the pressure off of Kyrie and AD.
Take the pressure off of AD.
Both of them.
Nah, not Kyrie.
No,
Kyrie don't have to come back with no pressure.
They're gonna go east and whip through the east and then be back 50%.
Bro, listen, that trade that they did for AD is like
the worst trade in NBA history.
Yeah, it's like
the best trade.
Cooper Flag 18. You got to go down to
You just got Cooper.
You got Cooper Flag to go. Return.
What about it?
You got Cooper. You never had.
No, that's like
giving Paul George to the Clippers.
No,
your reward for trading Luka was Cooper Flag.
No, that's like the Nets giving up their future for KG and Paul Pierce, and then Boston go ahead and get Jaylen Brown, and you see how that ends.
When you start 3-8 with the worst offense in NBA history after a move like that, ownership doesn't just get nervous, they start looking for the eject button fast. This is how one reckless decision blew up an entire organization and flipped the league on its head. So here's what really went down. On February 1st, 2025, reports say Nico Harrison called up Lakers GM Rob Pelinka, his longtime friend. They reportedly met in secret, and Harrison straight up asked if Pelinka wanted Luka Doncic. Pelinka thought he was joking at first, but he wasn't. The deal on the table was Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff F. Morris to the Lakers for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a single 2029 first-round pick. CBS Sports' Brad Botkin gave the Lakers an A+ and the Mavericks an F, writing, "You can't trade Luka Doncic, not unless your hand is forced." ESPN's Tim McMahon reportedly talked to NBA executives who said, "You cannot trade a generational talent at 25 years old unless the guy forces his way out. If you want more wild front office breakdowns like this, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next one." And here's where it gets wild. Multiple insiders said Luka never asked out, not once. Mark Stein straight up confirmed it. Luka Doncic did not request a trade. So why in the world did Harrison pull the trigger? His whole explanation boiled down to one line: "I believe that defense wins championships." That was his entire logic, like swapping out a superstar for Anthony Davis's defense was suddenly going to fix the whole franchise.
This happened now because the Mavericks are in a tailspin, Stephen A. And when you trade away Luka Doncic, a player in his prime, 25 years old, 5 straight All-NBA first teams, and you go get Anthony Davis, and you've set a 2 to 3, 4-year window for you to win a championship. You say only time will tell if I'm right. You know the city is coming down on the Mavericks in February and beyond after that for their decision to trade Luka Doncic. You have championship expectations. And even in April, after the Mavericks lost Kyrie Irving with a torn ACL, Nico Harrison said, "We'll be back next season and we'll be competing for a championship."
The fan reaction, absolute meltdown mode. Season ticket renewals reportedly crashed to around 75 to 80%. People were canceling subscriptions left and right. Protests started outside the arena. Billboards slamming Harrison popped up all over Dallas. Even the governor jumped in questioning the trade. At that point, it was obvious. Mavs fans wanted someone held accountable and fast. And remember Harrison's defense wins championships philosophy? Let me tell you how that played out. Anthony Davis reportedly showed up to training camp out of shape, and the injuries started hitting immediately. In his first few weeks as a Maverick, he left multiple games early. Rumor is he never even managed 5 straight games in a Dallas uniform. By mid-season, he had only logged around 14 full games. This is what you swapped Luka for. But the nightmare kept getting worse. Kyrie Irving, the other star of the team, tore his ACL not long after the trade and hasn't touched the court once this season. Klay Thompson, the Hall of Famer they signed for 3 years and $50 million, has reportedly been shooting so rough that the team benched him, and insiders say they're already trying to move him. And then there's Cooper Flagg, the top-tier prospect they lucked into with just 1.8% odds. Jason Kidd allegedly played him at point guard for several games, completely out of position. And yeah, the results showed. The Mavericks opened the season 3-8, sitting dead, last in the West, and their offense was so rough it literally set a record. The worst offensive rating in NBA history at 106.5 points per game, while the league average is sitting at 116.7. Meanwhile, Luka's over in LA dropping 37 a night with 9 rebounds, 9 assists, and playing the elite level defense Harrison claimed he couldn't play. And the Lakers, they're cruising at 8-3 while Luka is out there tossing no-look dimes and throwing down putback dunks like it's nothing. Every single night, that gap keeps stretching wider and wider. Now let's break down Nico Harrison's road to this moment. Before he ever stepped into Dallas's front office, he spent 19 years at Nike, 0 NBA front office experience. But he had connections, serious ones.
He is here today, averaging 40, 11, and 9. 40, 11, and 9. Looks slimmer, looks in shape. Lakers are number 2 seed in the West, although it's very, very early. What is it like for you, Mark Cuban, right now, seeing Luka do this in a different uniform?
I mean, I'm happy for Luka because he's a great guy. I mean, he's just a really special human being. His family's great, his dad. You know, it's painful, you know, as a Mavs fan and as somebody who, you know, potentially if I would have done a better job of just defining my role in advance, might not have happened, you know, and so it hurts me. I know it kills Mavs fans everywhere, but I'm happy for Luka.
He knew everybody from Kobe to Michael Jordan, and early on it actually paid off. He moved Kristaps Porzingis in 2022, and Dallas made the Western Conference Finals. He took a chance on Kyrie Irving when everyone said it would blow up, and they still made the 2024 NBA Finals. He even added the right role players at the deadline to help Dallas stay competitive. After that finals run, the Mavericks gave him an extension, and he looked untouchable. But there was one problem. Harrison operated like a firefighter, not a strategist. Every move he made felt like damage control, not planning. He let Jalen Brunson walk to New York, and now Brunson's a 2-time All-Star. He reportedly signed D'Angelo Russell, even though Russell was coming off a rough shooting season and is known as one of the weakest defenders at his position. Which is crazy, because didn't Harrison say defense wins championships? Then he supposedly gave P.J. Washington a $90 million contract, even though Washington has been shooting around 28% from 3 with a negative plus-minus. But the Luka trade, that was the breaking point. After pulling the trigger, insiders say Harrison held a press conference, invite only, no cameras allowed. When people asked Harrison why he shouldn't be fired, he hit them with, "I think I've done a really good job here, and I don't think I can be judged by the injuries this year. You'll see next year when our team comes back, we're going to be competing for a championship." Meanwhile, the team is sitting at 3-8 with an offense so rough, it's setting records no team ever wanted to touch.
Mavericks were in position to sign Luka to a 5-year, $350 million contract this summer. If you have a 25-year-old who you can get under contract for 5 years at $350 million, who's been All-NBA 5 times, first-team All-NBA 5 times, that's typically, in the history of the NBA, a no-brainer situation. There's not a stress.
Harrison reportedly told the media, "We really feel like we got ahead of what was going to be a tumultuous summer." Later, he admitted, "I miscalculated the depth of love our fans had for Luka." No surprise there. Then came Monday night, November 11th, 2025. The Mavericks lose to Milwaukee and fall to 3-8 again. The Fire Nico chants echoing across the arena for 9 straight months are louder than ever. But something different happened this time. Mavericks governor Patrick Dumont was sitting courtside, and next to him sat a fan wearing a Lakers Luka jersey. Dumont, the same guy who said, "In Nico we trust," back in February, apparently broke character. Reports say he actually took accountability. Fans claim he told the Luka jersey fan he felt bad about the trade, that it wasn't the right move for the franchise, and that he messed up. That's wild, coming straight from the top. Less than 24 hours later, the news dropped. Nico Harrison was officially fired. ESPN's Brian Windhorst said the move was inevitable with all the chaos drowning the organization. The announcement hit at 10 a.m. Central on Tuesday, and assistant GMs Michael Finley and Matt Riccardi were named co-interim GMs. But Mavericks fans aren't throwing a party. They're drained, disappointed, and honestly, just hurt. The mess is so deep that some fans are even asking if Mark Cuban could buy the team back and fix everything again. So, what's next for Dallas? They've got Cooper Flagg, an 18-year-old who dominated at Duke and came in as a top-tier prospect. Cooper Flagg came in as an All-American National Player of the Year and the second youngest #1 pick ever behind LeBron. And in his first stretch of games, he's putting up real numbers. He reportedly just dropped 26 on the Bucks and went at Giannis in crunch time like he belonged out there. The kid's got serious potential, but the roster around him looks like a puzzle missing half the pieces.
Why shouldn't you be fired?
Well, one, I think I've done a really good job here, and I don't think I can be judged by the injuries this year. You have to judge from totality, from beginning to end, and so I think I have a really good working relationship with Patrick. I think you add in Rick, the leadership that we have is really elite. And you'll see next year when our team comes back, we're going to be competing for a championship.
You've got a 35-year-old Klay Thompson who's clearly declining, a 31-year-old Anthony Davis who can't stay healthy long enough to build chemistry, Kyrie Irving who won't suit up until January, D'Angelo Russell who reportedly struggles on defense, and then Flagg, an 18-year-old carrying the expectations of an entire franchise. Ben Rohrbach wrote that the Mavericks fired Harrison because they didn't want him steering the future anymore, and their future is Flagg. That's the blueprint people are talking about. Some insiders are even suggesting Dallas should trade Anthony Davis while he still has any trade value, move on from Klay, keep Kyrie as the veteran presence, and build everything around Flagg and the young core. But here's the real question: can they pull it off? Can an organization that allegedly made one of the worst trades in league history suddenly start making smart decisions again? One Western Conference executive reportedly told ESPN there's a Luka-sized hole on that roster, and that hole isn't disappearing anytime soon. Let's be straight about what happened. Dallas traded a 25-year-old generational superstar for a 31-year-old center with injury concerns who's played around 14 full games. And for all that, they only got one future first-round pick. Reports say the Lakers could have offered Austin Reeves, multiple picks, and swap rights, but they kept every piece because Rob Pelinka convinced Harrison that Luka's conditioning was a problem. This wasn't just a risky trade. Sources suggest it was flat-out organizational malpractice. And if those reports hold up, Nico Harrison might go down as the architect of one of the worst trades in modern NBA history. 283 days after sending Luka away, Harrison was reportedly shown the door. His legacy, taking a finals-caliber squad and turning it into the worst offense the league has ever recorded. And here's the part that hits the hardest. When Luka came back to Dallas as a Laker, insiders say he actually cried during his tribute video. He even said he threw his phone the night he heard about the trade, telling people, "I felt like my heart was broken." Sources say Luka wanted to be a Maverick for life. He wanted that Dirk legacy. 21 years with one team, a championship run, legendary status, maybe even a statue outside the arena. Instead, he got traded in the middle of the night like he was just another contract on the books. At this point, the Mavericks don't look like a clown show. They look like a full-on circus with no ringleader. And the real question isn't whether they can bounce back, it's whether the fans will ever trust this front office again after everything that's happened. This is what destroying a franchise in 283 days looks like. If you're still here, drop a comment. Can Dallas recover? Should they move Anthony Davis now while they still can? And who should take over as GM? Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next breakdown, hit those notifications, and tap the like button if this might be the wildest trade disaster you've ever seen.